Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first session in this series of AI and technology and catering. This is Peter Moore from It's Lolly who's joining you today at the first one. Just a bit of housekeeping for during the session today. You'll notice that your mic is muted, but you can communicate with me or Peter or the other participants even in the chat function. So the chat function can be found if you hover over the bottom or the top of your screen and select the speech bubble icon. Please change the chat function to all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see if you want to say hi. There's also a Q&A function which you can use to ask the panelists questions. If Peter can't answer straight away, we'll come back to you when we can. But I do have some submitted already from some of you, so we'll go through those at the end. This session is being recorded, and the recorded session will be in the past events in the professional development events section of the Academy part of the TUCO website, which is really easy to say. But you'll need login details to be able to do that. And it'll also be in the TUCO Facebook page and on the TUCO YouTube page. So I'll now hand over to Peter. Over to you.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. And good afternoon, everybody, on this miserable, sunny, snowy day. I was on a call this morning with somebody and it was snowing very heavily in their background. So yeah, it's nice to be nice and warm in the office. Anyway, so Sarah, thank you. And thank you, TUCO, for asking me on to do this first presentation on AI, a lot of it. So I think what some of you have asked to do, well, I'll first introduce myself. My name is Peter Moore. I'm the CEO and founder of It's Lolly. For my sins, I am a technologist, a futurist, and my role in Lolly is to bring intuitive new technology into your business, the university sector, and make it simple, easy, intuitive to use. That's what I try and do. And I spend all my time doing that, going to some strange countries, strange places, looking at all this new AI, and it is quite scary. But today we are looking at really quite some specific stuff. We're looking at AI checkouts and what do they do and do they really work? And I'll give you some show you some cases of that and how we are moving forward with that. And I'll talk a bit about AI and generative AI, which is something that we're focused at Lolly quite a lot in because we think it's going to be very much part of our lives. So let's carry on. And my screen will go forward. There we go. Okay. So the first thing I'll show you is the growing demand of self-serve. So 75% of cost preferred self-serve options. Now, I'll caveat that to say, let's talk about the generational theory. When we talk about delivering technology, I always use the saying, technology is not about our ability to deliver it. It's the users and consumers' ability to accept it. So, you know, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and interestingly enough, alphas stopped last week and betas started. So that's the next generation coming through. So you in the university sector, you're very much focused on those Gen Zs and those millennials, and they increasingly prefer the self-serve option and less interaction. You know, the Gen Zs and indeed the alphas that are coming through now, they just don't interact with people. They like to do everything digitally. So basically, what's AI all? It's about instant access to detailed nutrition information. So we can give you a lot more information on self-serve using AI than we can in traditional tills type environments. And it takes a lot of pressure off you as staff to build all those interactions, because we can do that by using data and the systems and AI to deliver those services for you. And I'll go into a bit more detail in a minute. Okay, so self-serve solutions, reduce queues, increase footfall, and really personalize the customer experience. That's what we're trying to do. Technology is about giving better information to those consumers that use it, consumers being students. And if you generate a better experience, you'll generate better loyalty. 61% of customers spend more when placing orders through kiosks compared to a normal till. Kiosks can achieve an average of 12% increase in sales, 15% in orders, and 80% in gross margin. So again, that statement at the bottom, put simply, customers simply spend more using self-serve than they do standard kiosks. And again, it's just generating a different customer experience as we move through the purchasing cycle of different generations. So just, in regard to you guys, so just 1 in 5 hospitality business leaders believe their venues are cutting edge. Just 1 in 5 believe that their technology is good. 22% of business leaders thought they were behind their competitors in their curve in hospitality. But the incredible one here is, look at that number. And it's a US number, I know, but the AI market is predicted to be worth about 383 billion by 2030. So this is not something to think about. It's about coexistence. It's about embracing AI. It's about embracing those new technologies and moving forward with it. So I've got a statement: embracing AI is about utilizing its strengths, repetitive tasks, while maximizing human interaction where it matters most. And that's what we talk about any new technology. It's about taking away those simple tasks and giving that to technology, lowering your costs, but actually where it really matters, that personal interaction where you can, then that's what we're very good at, and that's what you have to use. This is our SnapServe product, and there is a number of different products. I say a number. I will first of all caveat and say it doesn't work everywhere. People think they can just pick up this technology and put it in a location. You can't. I promise you, you can't. There's locations it works well at, and there's locations it doesn't. I'll give you an example where it doesn't, and that's in a self-service environment. So I'll give you an example. Someone goes in and they can help themselves to the English breakfast. They will put a slice of bacon on there, and then I promise you, they will cover it in baked beans and try and hide it. And then they'll go through the self-serve. And everybody does it. That's what happens. So in that environment, this type of product doesn't actually work. In a served environment, it does. It works really well on fast sandwiches, bowls of salad, Coke, etc. It works great on that because it's easy to identify and it moves people through. You can see the processing speed is just 3 seconds. You can get somebody through in 3 seconds. Now, of course, university sector, what is one of the key things, the key issues you have? It's about queue busting. It's about lunchtime. It's about supper time. It's about breakfast. You have a lot of people, a lot of queues. We're trying to queue bust all the time. And these are great for that. This unit, you actually use your app. You scan your QR code. It knows who you are. You check out, sit down, and it bills you. Really simple. Works really well. And for you also, they can get on their app, when we pass that data to their app, we're telling you exactly what's the calorific content of the food you're eating. How much calories have you consumed? What is the carbon impact of eating that meal in this location today? Huge amount of data we can pull real time from multiple different locations to you. And of course, we can do things on the hoof. So basically, if you change a menu, we can bring that data down very quickly. It's very agile to keep you compliant and to make it work for you, as opposed to the old process of keep trying to process and do those different things. So we've implemented, I say a few, we've probably got a dozen, maybe more than that, maybe 15 or 16 of these locations in different corporate environments. This gentleman here is a key buyer in one of the big corporate hospitality customers, CH&Co, now part of Compass Catering. And they have seen an 84% increase in the speed of serving customers, 84%. So they're getting a lot more customers through that. And they just simply love the speed of the solution, and it's really transformed both the kitchen and the staff within the kitchen, and indeed it is totally changed the experience of the students.
Hello, how can I help you today? I can tailor the menu to your allergen requirements or your nutritional goals. I'd also be happy to showcase specific items depending on the weather. It's chilly today, so a hot chocolate perhaps and toasted sandwich for lunch? Let me help your customers place their order seamlessly so your human staff can take care of what they do best.
Okay, that's Lena. So Lena is not real. We generate Lena. She's a software program. We build her. We changed the color of her eyes. We changed the color of her hair. We changed her a reflection, how she moves. And we can script her to say anything. But more importantly, we're actually starting to now be able to communicate with Lena. We can ask her basic questions. She can ask us, hi, how can I help you today? So why I'm showing you this is, this is a typical kiosk you can see on the left here. So at Lolly, we've got cameras that actually can do facial recognition, identify you. So I can walk up to that kiosk, not right now, but in the not too distant future. And that kiosk will say, Leon will say, hi, Peter, nice to see you back. Do you want to see what you last ordered? We're creatures of habits. So actually, I can show you all your last orders. Yeah, I love that. Thanks very much. I can repeat that. Oh, by the way, you've just ordered a souffle and it's got peanuts in it. I can see in your profile you've got allergens against peanuts. I would recommend something else. Generative AI is going to be hugely creative and useful for your campuses and students going forward. It's about personalization, from greetings to menu displays, tailored offerings for individuals. As I said, facial recognition for payments, for allergen filtering, for age-restricted items, and of course, upselling. We can upsell through specific gender profiling and a number of different elements by, again, pulling data from various different locations. So you'll see a lot more generative AI in your world. And certainly this year, you'll see more and more of it. So, and that's it. It's really quick, really a few 10, 12 minutes. I've got a couple of questions that I've asked myself. But in the meantime, Sarah, can I come back to you and say, Sarah, do you have any questions the panel's asked me that specifically they want me to answer?
Yes, I've got a couple, thank you. So, how are you managing and maintaining the accuracy of your data on an ongoing basis to control bias?
So can I repeat that? How I manage the data?
The accuracy, yeah, manage and maintain the accuracy of your data on an ongoing basis to make sure that you control bias.
Okay. So I think what someone's referring to there is about AI. People all know. I'll clarify. AI. What AI does, it's like the best professor that that all of you know. They have just got a mind that collects lots of data. And when they're asked questions, they just sieve their mind and they come up with the answer. That's what generative AI. Well, that's what AI does. It goes out into the market very simply, and it looks at hundreds and hundreds of bits of data and it pulls it through and it makes an assumption on the basis of that data it's pulling back. Now, sometimes that data is inaccurate that it's pulling back. So sometimes the assumption that AI is making right now is inaccurate. And you have to go forward in an understanding that information is not fact sometimes and how it is actually gathered. So I'd answer the question and say, well, actually, the tools you're given. Sometimes that the specific data can potentially be a bit biased or not 100% correct. And if you make that assumption, you can move forward with a product or a solution for you. So that's the kind of answer. You know what you're getting, embrace it, understand it, but it will get better. It gets better all the time. And we have these questions now. In a year's time, you won't ask those questions because the information that they're probably giving to us is going to be much, much more accurate.
Thank you for that. The next one I have is how is AI currently being integrated into EPoS systems within the catering industry? So, what are the primary benefits that AI brings for that?
I can tell you loads, but okay. So I'll start with so the first thing I'll say is we currently as Lolly, the first thing we have to do is safe use of AI. And I would, all of you out there, all of you, don't do this without speaking to your department about your IT department, compliance, cybersecurity, etc. It's part has to be part of your world. It really does have to be. And we certainly, as a business, we are focused on that. We're focused on the new ISO, which is safe use of AI, and we're going to be functioning on that. So that's what I would say, caveat it of this, your starting point, really. Where does it start? Well, we use it. So, for instance, we use AI in all of our tools, all of our kiosks in respect of AI Translate. So, any of your students, so if you've got summer schools or your international students, they can walk up to any one of our tools in our kiosk, press a button, and it will translate what's on the screen into any language in the world within about a third of a second. So they can communicate with a kiosk or a digital content in the language of their preferred language. That's to start with. Facial recognition, voice recognition. So facial recognition is something we call vectorization. We use AI for that, which we never take a picture of a face. We use vectors to actually record, and then we encrypt those vectors under GDPR profiles. And basically, again, anyone can walk up and open an account, look at their account by looking into one of our cameras using AI vector. Obviously, voice is now becoming more and more prevalent in respect of your individual voice to be able to communicate direct with a till, a kiosk. Amazon use, interestingly, something called vein recognition. So you all know fingers. Fingers are generally quite unreliable because of cuts and coldness, but Amazon are pushing things like vein. But you've got obviously face, voice, which are all biometrics that we're using, and a lot of those based on AI algorithm. The big one is data, though. Data, we all talk about big data, and we talk about big data and what is it actually mean to you? To be honest, it means very little till now. But now we're starting to see that data being pulled through in real time through basically cloud-based systems. So not the old legacy-based system. A cloud-based system, we know every location. We know what's going on in real time. That data's flowing all over the place. We're going off to a certain organization to pull back data about carbon impact. We're going off to another one to see how the allergen's chasing on this specific food item. So it's about big data and moving data and using algorithms to actually pull that data together very, very quickly. So, AI is using every different elements of EPoS payments, apps as you move forward. And it's, as I said, it's all about that pure personalization.
Thank you very much. That's it for the questions from the people have submitted in before the session.
So I've got two questions, and again, I can show you how I script. So I've got Lena going to ask me a question.
So, Peter, what are the biggest challenges of generative AI going into 2025?
Okay, did you all get that? Lena actually went off sync slightly there. Anyway, so thank you, Lena. Well, what's the biggest challenges of generative AI in the university sector going forward? I think it's about you embracing these new technologies. And I really do mean that. It's not being scared of them. It's about finding organizations to work to, not necessarily Lolly, it could be whoever it is. But first of all, they're progressive in respect of how they deliver a basic solution and they scale that solution with you. But they can share that roadmap with you very clearly, and they can take you through the sort of generative AI, how you're going to use them and how you're going to use them in the future. We use Alina for all of our training videos now. We show staff training. So rather than an individual going out, we do training videos with Lena of how she does that. And again, you can have different things on reception robots will come on. You can go to a receptionist. Hi, Lena, can you take me to this location? So all those different things are things that you will be able to control and you'll be able to interact with. But again, it's how you embrace that.
So how can generative AI be best implemented on campus to provide unmatched services?
Okay, I'm just going to repeat that again because that's a bit quick.
So how can generative AI be best implemented on campus to provide unmatched services?
So again, I come back to the serious, the previous question. It's about embracing, it's about looking those different pieces of technology where simple tasks, simple communication tasks can be done by AI technology or technology in a controlled environment. And then again, you as the caterer, the managers of your business can go off to the things that really matter. And that can make a difference to generating that amazing student experience that suddenly will generate huge loyalty for you students to come back and eat in your restaurants time and time again. So I think
Excellent.
that is it this time. That was me.
Yes. Thank you very much, Peter. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Thank you everyone else for taking part in this session as well. If you have any questions, do get in touch with me or with Peter. The contact details for me are in your registration emails, and I'll pass them on to Peter to take up with you. Thank you very much. That's our first session. Hope to see you in the next one. And thank you again, Peter.
Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.